We're live right now. First ever Bills Fanatics Fantasy Football segment. Now, this is something we're doing on a weekly basis, right? It's an episode that we have. You guys are going to come over here. And, we put out a couple things out there on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, asking you guys to reach out to me and, ask your question. We got a little bit of feedback and we got some questions asked. And I'm going to answer those too later in the show. But, we got to build this up. We're the best fans on the planet for a reason. Number one tailgate team, number one fan base. Haven't made the playoffs 17 years, but we still sell at the stadium. So what we need you to do here is support this channel like we support everything else Bills related. 43.6K, is that what it is? Yeah, on Instagram. Let's bring that over here on YouTube too, because we're going to start doing this on a weekly basis. I hope we get good feedback so we can bring you more content at this level and this quality on a weekly basis. Now, with that being said, let's talk about fantasy football. Charles Quay, another guy. Now, he's been on the team for a while. He's had a big contract, right? About what was it like? I'm making numbers up, but I know it's upwards of $8 million a year, which is a lot. And he has not performed even close to that. We're overpaying, in fantasy terms, a TE3, right? But last game he showed flashes of brilliance. He had a couple of drop passes, which you got to work on. It's the first game of the season. He's a little rusty, but you know what? I'm excited for that prospect. Now let's talk about the Cardinals' backfield. Now, we've talked about David Johnson. He was the man. He's out for 2 to 3 months, which is a big deal. But they got Kerwin Williams, right? A rookie running back who is highly esteemed by both David Johnson and the coaching staff. They talked about it at press conferences and interviews and training camp and preseason. And guess what? They just re-signed Chris Johnson. Now, that's a big deal because Chris Johnson was the starting running back before David Johnson came on the scene, right? So they brought this man in, okay, and he's a veteran. He was CJ2K. Don't forget that this man has ran for 2,000 yards before. So he is a running back. He is a good running back. He's a veteran. He knows the playbook. He knows the system. And then you also got Andre Ellington, right? 2015, he was the man. He was killing the game. I think he got injured, and he just hasn't been the same because so many other running backs came in and took his role, and his role has kind of diminished he's been marginalized over the years. But guess what? In my opinion, what is going to happen here? Since David Johnson was such a dual threat running back in both the receiving and the passing game, what he's going to do now is Andre Ellington is going to pick up the catching abilities, right? He's going to get the receptions now for him. He's going to be the PPR guy you're going to go for. And Kerwin Williams, my bad on that. Kerwin Williams is going to be the guy who's going to be rushing the ball. In my opinion, he'll be the main running back because he is a rookie, he's healthy, he's young, and he is the RB1 right now without David Johnson over there. But you can't sleep on Chris Johnson being there. He's a number 2 to 3, sharing it with Andre Ellington, and he's gonna be a veteran presence, so he might steal some of Kerwin's carries. So I want to address that. So that was something you got to take with a grain of salt. Breakout players of Week 1. We had, in my opinion, 3 performances last week. Yes, 3 performances that I'm almost positive not one analyst. I'm confident. Not Stephen A. Not my man Skip Bayless. Not Shannon Brown Sharp. Whoever. Nobody predicted these players. No one predicted Sam Bradford to play like a Hall of Fame quarterback that game. That's a fact. And no one saw Alex Smith showing up Tom Brady in Foxborough. That's never been done before. No, Tom Brady does not get shown up by another team's quarterback in his own home field. That does not happen on national television. So that's something that people are really taken aback by, and people are buying into the hype. And finally, another guy in the Chiefs who helped dismantle, our friendly rivals, because it's such a close back and forth between us and the Patriots. We took him down was Kareem Hunt, rookie running back. I think he had about 42 fantasy points in my fantasy football league. This dude did everything. He was a receiving threat, a running threat, a touchdown. He did, name it, he did it. Tyreek Hill did his thing on that team too. Now these players, they all have a baseline except for Kareem Hunt. The other two, the 2 quarterbacks we just talked about, they have been in the league for multiple years. They have played on multiple teams. We know what they're about. We know how they play and the caliber of quarterback they are. So right now, my man Sam Bradford has a stable offense around him for the first time in his career, in my opinion. He has a good offensive line that's held together. He has Dalvin Cook, a rookie running back who did his thing. This is in my opinion, I'm going on side tangents a lot. I'm warning you guys about that right now. But my man Dalvin Cook, he killed it, and this is the year of the rookie running back. Just like when Landry and Odell Beckham and Mike Evans, all these guys happened, right? When they came on the scene, they were the receivers. That was the receiving draft class. Now this is the running back draft class. You got Thielen, okay? You got Diggs. He got options right now, and the way he played and the way Zimmerman is opening up the offense for him, I'm really confident in Sam Bradford. The more I talk about him, the more I look into it, I think that's someone that, again, don't go out of your way to trade for him. But if you have him on your team, I will be happy. I'll be confident. If you see him in free agency, definitely go make a pickup. Don't do anything crazy yet, but that's someone I'm making a statement right now. Alert, alert. Sam Bradford is going to be a very solid starter. And in my opinion, maybe a top 10 fantasy quarterback for you guys. Okay, so let's get started with the Q&A. All right, so my boy Ben Money35, he asked me, he said, what do you think of McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey? Now, Christian McCaffrey, that was an interesting situation. Now, he was definitely the most hyped up and all-rounded running back coming out of the draft. But there's been so many other running backs who stepped up, right? So I can't say he's the number one running back after week one as a rookie. And Jonathan Stewart, I was surprised, but Jonathan Stewart got a decent amount of carries. I like McCaffrey, so I'm not sure if you have him on your team. He's still RB2 in my opinion. He's still someone you got to start on a weekly basis. I think they're going to get more comfortable with him, and he's going to become someone who's going to solely take carries away from Jonathan Stewart. But you have to understand, Jonathan Stewart has been there for so long. He's been there when DeAndre Williams gets injured. Anybody gets hurt, he's the main guy you go to. So he's going to get his carries. But McCaffrey, he's going to be good. You know, Ben, don't worry about that. Still trust in him, okay? Okay, let's go to my man, Jake. So Jake asked me, he sent me a couple screenshots. So I'm going to help him out over here. So he asked me, who do I start as my flex player? He has Willie Snead, Doxson on the Redskins, LeGarrette Blount, Shane Vereen, and Kobe Fleener on his bench. Now, who do we start as his flex player, right? Now, that's a good question. You got some depth over there. Now, currently, he has Jonathan Stewart in his flex. Now, we just talked about Jonathan Stewart. That worked out perfectly. Thank you guys for sending those questions back-to-back like that. But, yeah, Jonathan Stewart, again, he's not going to be the guy to take over games. He's not going to give you ridiculous amount of points, but he's going to be safety net. You're going to get 78 points from him, maybe a little bit more based on if you're in a PPR and half PPR league. But I like your bench. I don't really recommend starting a tight end. So I see you have Fleener in your bench. Now, he did a good job. You know, it looks like Breeze might be stepping up and having some chemistry with him like he did back in the day with Graham. But I don't like tight ends as a flex position because you can start a running back or receiver who are way more involved in the offense. You Willie Snead, who's suspended, so we could take that right out. In my opinion, you start LeGarrette Blount. I like Blount. He was definitely the main guy week one. He was a starting running back. Carson Wentz is definitely improving as a second-year quarterback. Smallwood, he was supposed to get a lot more carries and be more involved than he was supposed to, but it just wasn't the case this week. So that's something I think a lot of analysts didn't really look into as much, or maybe didn't predict as well. I know I didn't. I thought Smallwood was going to be really involved. That wasn't the case. And with LeGarrette Blount, you are guaranteed a person who's going to be a touchdown threat. So, you know, I think he had 16 touchdowns last year with the Patriots. That's a 1-to-1 ratio right there. And, you know, you got to understand, like, if you want a flex player who's going to get you 10 to 15 points, potential for more than that, LeGarrette Blount's the way to go. So you're going to go with LeGarrette Blount on that. Rob from Rochester, he asked me, Jonathan Stewart or Ebron, right? So this works in perfectly. We're basing it right off that second question about the flex spot. Like I said, I'm guessing that's a flex position question because you're comparing a running back and a tight end. And again, like I said, I will always go running back over a tight end no matter what. And especially in this situation because Ebron is not part of the offense. He's a first-round pick. You know, Stafford is an explosive quarterback who throws the ball like ridiculous. Like he's getting 400-yard games left and right. And Ebron has not been able to get a share of them. So that's going to end it on the Q&A segment of the show. You know, I'm like I said again, comment below your questions for week 2. Text them, DM us, do whatever you have to do. Twitter handle, you know them. Hashtag Bills Fanatics on every single social media. On the show, guys, disclaimer, I'm going to give you guys information, but you got to take in everything I say with a grain of salt and make your own decision. But like I said, man, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope we can do this on a weekly basis. I hope you guys enjoy it. And listen, you guys have questions or you want to do a cool segment, or if you want other questions to be talked about or different things to be approached on this segment and this show, we're ready for feedback because we are your channel. We are your blog. We are your fanatics. We are the Bills Fanatics. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Hamza Rana. See you next week.